And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. Let's unpause the game and let our guys start to reassemble the city, or attempt to reassemble the city. Anyway, we're gonna turn our expectations for how big the population is gonna grow down for a little while. If we get the city rebuilt enough, we might be able to turn some of the services back on and get more people moving in. Also, when the expedition fails, negative modifier goes away, we might be able to get the city, again, a little bit bigger. Oh, I don't even have storage for clothes anymore, so we'll turn that down to 1. We'll turn the food down a little bit. Hopefully most of these buildings remember their settings when they get rebuilt. Yeah, waiting for them to piece the holes back together. Well, in the meantime, the city effectively shrinks. Okay, let's get back on the city map. We'll actually pull the unused diplomats back at this point. So we got diplomats assigned to you. Probably just pull them all back, honestly. All the diplomats, as far as I can tell, are recalled. That's something we will probably accept. Well, actually, the emissary right now is not working at all. Once the emissary gets repaired, we'll probably just tell it to not even attempt to restart. Diplomacy is out the window for the moment. Out on the world map, we're waiting for some of these regions to regrow. You're not at 300 yet. You're not at 300 yet. You're growing to 600 something. 600 something, yeah. I don't think you have enough hydration to be worth going more than that. In fact, 600 is probably not super beneficial, but we're going 600. And then you'll probably want a happiness building of some sort. Let's do 1 level stands. A little more happiness in there. So then when the army leaves, the place should stay happy, hopefully. Well, apparently we have odd jobbers. We've got 900 something odd jobbers. So in theory, the repairs should be actually happening at a somewhat reasonable pace. Although I've got a shortage of wood, apparently. Okay. Fell some trees. Do I have any rocks anywhere near town that can be acquired? These can be acquired. That's trees, not rocks. That's some rocks. Acquire those rocks. Acquire those rocks. Answer in many ways is not really. Okay, so whichever warehouse we had the clothes in has, in fact, been repaired. That's good to see. Well, one of them has been repaired. So in theory, we're starting to stockpile clothes again. and most of the hatcheries were destroyed. So we have, like, no population growth right now. Okay, so you're over 600, so we can go up another size for you. And it's 15 workforce. Anyway, we can't realistically get to the next size, so this is as big as the city's getting. It would, in theory, be a really good place for gems. Probably do gems, Batty Crawler. Oh no, I don't actually want to do Batty Crawler. Batty Crawler is well, it's meat, but it's not the meat. Not the meat source we want really. So I suppose this is the place we just make gems from. Make a bunch of gems, get some taxes. There we go. I don't think we need the army there, so time for the army to march off to the next hypothetical target. Complaints about supplies being low, which is issues in the city, realistically. Probably because we got, well, we got one of the army supply depots destroyed. Right, so it just hasn't been repaired yet. Well, one of them has actually been repaired. Okay, battle on the map. Could auto-resolve it, that would result in our defeat, so we have to take command, personal command of this battle. Regular headaches can be cured by rubbing honey on the loins of the patient and drinking a potion Uriti ash mixed with cyanide. Well, yeah, I suppose just killing the person would solve the headache. Not the way I'd prescribe the solution. Here comes the enemy charge. Hello, Twitch chat. Hope you're enjoying the Let's Play. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the city, and we'll probably be contemplating a new city vaguely soon. We're seeing what we can get up to on the world map before we call it for this city. Well, then I hope you enjoy the watching and can learn from my failures, let's just say. We're currently trying to recover from a city-wide riot of 100,000, or like 1,000 people. So half the city is destroyed. Oh, swell, yeah. I apparently got my city a little too big, and had some bad events, and the city revolted. Yeah, I think we got the units here properly surrounded, so let's speed time up. Eventually get them to surrender if we just wait long enough. There's some units surrendering. There's more surrendering. Let's keep the speed down, try to get some of the units here. Filling on in. Twitch chat saying, came from RuneWorld, but this is something else. Yeah, this is, it's sort of like Total War plus City Builder. Like this sort of map combat is very Total War. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the 4th unit and get out and around and onto the underside of the unit here. With the struggle of trying to maneuver around our own army, while trying to also maneuver through the morale-broken enemies, its own struggle. No, the enemy army this one is just sort of collapsed more or less. There's like maybe one or two functional guys in there. There we go. So we lost 1 man to the garrison of 390. Okay, we'll release the prisoners because we're chivalric. And the army will march to lay siege to the city. And we were able to occupy the city, so the city is now ours. Okay, target size is over 300. It's going to shrink in all categories, so I think we might actually have to keep 300 here. Oh, it does not look like I'm going to be able to reach 600. Looks like we're only going to be able to do 300. And then actually 300 might be a bit of a struggle. Yeah, okay. We'll go that level for the moment, and we'll do a stand. Some time pass. This unit, that land grow up. This one's still expanding. One of the factions has moved their capital. People still resist, so either its capital was occupied by one of its neighbors, or it's had a civil war and the country split up. Without figuring out which faction that was, that might be easy to find. Faction Command Pact. So these guys lost their capital. Presumably got occupied by one of the neighbors. I don't have enough information to really tell exactly what went on there, but they don't have the capital anymore, apparently. That city will shrink. I think that city will not drop below 300, if I'm understanding what was going on there. And that city's actually pretty much done. Probably even raise the taxes a little bit. Want you to go over 300. Want you to go over 300. Both of them are going up. In fact, this one's going to hit 700. Just we have reached the point where it's not growing in every category. Floppy have hit their target. Garmithus, Garmithians have hit their target. So the other ones are the ones that are growing. And that's what's going on here, right? We've got space for more humans, the rest aren't growing. And to be fair, that's actually the status quo for most of my cities. Most of my cities are basically full. Except for the capital that's still rebuilding from the last riot. Back to close. I'm gonna set you to close. I'm not sure if you were on close before, but we need close coming in to make sure that we have enough for the supply depots to handle. We have a furniture shortage. Are we producing furniture? We are net producing furniture, so that's good to see. 200 odd jobbers, okay. Oh, and that farm, because we had odd jobbers, that farm actually finished. This farm actually finished, so we've got some more food coming in. Let them try to actually have more food. Okay, you've hit 300, so you can go up a size. If I had money, you could go up a size. Oh, that's gonna be the status quo, is it? Apparently I'm importing furniture, so the furniture's being imported and that's eating a lot of money. Okay, we've got some treasury in. There we go. So upgrade you. Accept. That provides us workforce. Workforce can be assigned both to increasing growth. Blue first. Anyway, now it's getting that city growing nice and fast. See if we can get it up to 600. You're at 300. I can't afford to go up because we're out of money again. Okay. Level you up. I think we worked out before that you're not going to be viable. Well, definitely not if I don't have the money, but you're not going to be viable to go up to 600. Especially because you apparently need basically that to stay at 200, don't you? Yeah, you need that to stay at 200. So we've got 8. Grab a stand to get some happiness. And then I should save up for an import, or for tax type. Probably Globadine, so I need to save up 20k for Globadine. Although we can collect some money in taxes. You're happier, so we're going to collect a little bit more in taxes. Given what's going on, I'm gonna tax you harder. I was expecting this place to actually hit 600 because it's not gonna make it to 600. Oh, we'll leave it for a bit. Come back and check on this later. We might just drop it a little bit, drop it back down to maintaining 300. Yeah, if we drop it down to maintaining 300, then we can again take some former taxes. So in theory, the city has enough food production to feed the city. It apparently doesn't have enough graveyards given the number of dead rioters laying around the city. Yeah, I think our graveyards, or I think our mass graveyards are full. Our job count is getting much lower as more and more of the city services come back online, and we need more workers to work them all. Okay, well, at least we have enough clothing. We don't have enough furniture, and we don't have enough cut stone. I think the stone cutter survived, but it's just because of the massive backlog from all the damage. Oh, and we're wood short. That's not helping with furniture production. Yeah, I don't think we're going... Not going over 600. So I should really drop the growth here. Get the workforce back. Yeah, so let's go for that. Yeah, the population's going to shrink, but we've got 9 workforce now. I need 20k to pick up that stuff down there. Although in the meantime, I think it's time for the army to move on to the next target. Yeah, I think they're next. Oh, no, there's not a path through there. I gotta go out and around. Okay, so that means that's the next target. Off goes marching the army. And you're ready for me to generate more food from you. Again, as soon as I have 20k sitting around, which is a little hard of an ask, because apparently we need to import all the furniture to fix the town. And yeah, services have gone down. Although, again, it was mainly one heavy region that got hit, so most of the revolt was centered around here in the middle of the town. Oh, we lost the administration. The entire administration was destroyed. Okay. Could auto-resolve this, or we could attempt to auto-resolve the battle. That wouldn't be good. We're gonna go into another battle here. One of the Twitch chatters is saying, I think I need to space out my buildings more, kind of box myself in. Yeah. I can definitely feel that. You could be surprised how many things you gotta get close to other things in this game. And it's a bit of trial and error learning what the good mix is. Okay, let's do tight formation. Play something like that. Okay, we'll start. Let them come to us, and again, we'll try to flank around behind them. Again, we outnumber them like 1.5 to 1, so I'm not too worried about their numbers. The flanking is more to make it efficient. We can morale break units, then we don't have to fight them to the last. And our men aren't the most trained. They're 14 of 20%. Although that's comparable to the 15 of 15% the other side's using, so. Are you actually archers? No, you've got archery training with no bows. Because you're weird like that. Here we go, attempting to roll up the enemy's left. Well, I suppose technically that's the enemy's right with my left. Oh, that's the road. I was thinking, like, that's a very weird shaped blood splotch. It's not. It's just the mud road. Yep, see if we can get that garrison to surrender. Some enemy units are breaking, although it's the one in the middle cauldron breaking. Here we go, general mass route. Actually, this batch of 12 are here that are holding. Four are holding. There they go. So we lost 6 men to get 429 to die, rout, or surrender. Okay, we're gonna occupy that town. Actually, maybe a little bit past the town, to be fair. We obviously want to try to grow the town. If we can. We'd like it to be at least 300. Looks like we'll be able to keep 300. Let's see about that. Okay, it looks like I'm not going to be able to get it over 300, no matter what I do. Or over 600. Let's just take it to 300, and we'll cheap out for the moment. We'll go for the minimum size. We're here, we're waiting for the 20k, so we gotta wait for some time to pass. Hope that the civilians can rebuild more of the town. Which, the main thing they're missing is furniture, I think. I think they're literally just missing furniture. So much of the destroyed stuff costs furniture to fix. Like, even the woodcutters that aren't working are furniture-based. See the decline in the services. Although as we get more and more of them back online, that does improve. Again, big problem with the toilets is there's locations without access to toilets, locations without access to markets. So as we get those rebuilt and the access comes back online, we should see it bounce back up. Oh, my execution ground's offline at the moment. I guess we set everyone to prison for the moment. Because the prison's fixed. Well, the prison's also full. Coming back out to check on the world map. You're not at 600 yet. You're not declining at 300, so we can pick up the extra workers here. Yeah, I suppose we're going to do a stand here. Try to keep the region happy. So in theory, that means it's time for this army to move off to the next target. So we can go west for opportunities for gems. Some husbandry. There's a little bit of fishing there. We can go up around the top here. Pasture land. At least that's a good supplier of stone. That would actually be tempting to get a hold of stone. Yeah, let's go up around the top. So 300 something. 600 people to handle that, so we send them off a margin. Oh, I had. It's about like, oh, I've got 20,000 in denarii. I can go build something. Oh, wait, no. That's all gone. I got spent probably buying furniture. Once more, our men go to battle. So there's the enemy block of troops. Humans, Quitonians, and more Quitonians. Let's let them come to us. They're adopting dense formation. And charge should probably be soon. Oh, their flank. Or no, their right flank just collapsed in contact, not even really being flanked yet. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have a great J of this. A large portion of the enemy army is already collapsing, and the fight has barely begun. There goes another big batch of enemy units. I think half the enemy army has already routed from the field of battle. Who should I say? I see the Total War reference now. Can't wait to do wars myself. Yeah. And to be fair, building an army like this is not too hard. It's just rations and clothing that you need to supply them to keep them in the field. And whatever, of course, whatever equipment you want them to fight with. Once you take over your first region, you can recruit regional recruits, so it doesn't even have to be people from your own city to go wage war. Like, this entire army here is actually the conscripts from the country, and not from the capital. Which is why, with a nation of Amevians, we're fielding an army made mostly of humans and Dundorians. Because the field army, we're basically sending them rations and clothes and spears and shields, and they're going out and doing war. Good chat saying, added to my post notes. Okay. Last main combat unit here is 140-something humans. Just being ground down. And speed up. There they go. We lost 7 men to driving off 394. Okay. We release the captives. We might not be close enough to actually lay siege to the town, or it gets a garrison again. Yeah, managed to get a garrison in time. We'll have to lay siege to the city for a little while. Twitch asking, do I have a lot of hours in the game? Not particularly. This is the biggest I've built a city before. So I've played on and off across different versions of the game. But this is the deepest we've built a city. This city did get up to 6,500. We got up to the second highest title level. Or not the second highest title. We got up to... Oh, we had 6,000. Oh, we might have lost 6,000 because we're obviously not at 6,000 anymore. We were up at the 6,000, I think, earlier. And there are a couple tiers higher than what we got up to. But yeah, we had the 6,000 one early in the run. So we've had the city bigger. Obviously, the riot was like a quarter of the city. Which is why so much of the city is damaged. Altercation at the marketplace. A merchant from far away tried to hawk their wares on one of your marketplaces. Unfortunately, a fight broke out due to clash of customs. An enormous pot filled with exotic spices shattered in the scuffle. No one was hurt, but the wind scattered the contents far and wide. The spice is supposedly harmless and adjusted, but causes extreme itchiness, which is your skin or eyes, as many of your subjects found out. Fabric could be used to shield workplaces and public areas until the spice settles, but some of it's unlikely to be reusable. So I can burn some of my fabric to mitigate the problem here. I suppose we will. There we go. So, yeah, mitigated the problem. So speed is not as penalized as badly. We spent some fabric. The capital briefly transformed into a much more gaudy version of itself, the fabric adorning every street and workshop, escaping that terrible itching, made even the most outlandish adornments suddenly practical. Okay. Let's get a little more taxes with you. And we'll build a tavern. So we can support a little bit higher of a tax rate. We gotta save up the 20,000, of course, for the actual pasture. I can do the same here as well. Bank and in. Knowledge low. There's not enough knowledge to maintain our current technologies. All bonuses of technologies using these points are receiving a penalty. Are now relocked. Okay, so we're basically getting hit with some of our stuff, some of our disabilities due to just not being able to operate things. Okay. How's the best way to do this? Probably reduce the upkeep of various things. So. Turn food and nutrition off because that was just a raw bonus. The maintenance modifier, spoilage, and the logistics. Makes the knowledge deficit a little less bad. And then, yeah, everything else is functionally unlocking things that we're using. To keep the town happy. As much as that apparently is not possible without most of the sound working, but... Okay, we got a bandit coming in. We're not going to immediately say yes to this bandit. Angel Eyes. Let's check to see how strong is Angel Eyes' army. 54 soldiers. Pretty well equipped 54 soldiers. But only 54 soldiers. Our town garrison post-riot is actually only 97. I would like, because of how well equipped they are, to have more. I think we're just going to give in and say, yeah, we're paying up. Okay, I'm gonna do something that's a little desperate to try to get some of the stuff built faster, which is I'm gonna just start destroying things that aren't rebuilding in a reasonable amount of time. I'm gonna do the smart remove on these guys. That goes the furniture back from you. The hospital isn't being fixed. Tear the hospital down for the moment. Anyway, none of the hatcheries going, that's a bit of an issue. Let's go ahead and basically dismantle half of them. Use the existing ones once they're repaired to blueprint to replace the disassembled ones. Again, this in theory getting what was back from them. Hopefully it'll accelerate some of the construction. We can import paper makers, so we're going to cancel the unrepaired paper makers. We do have one repaired, which is a good start. No, one of those actually survived intact. Okay, so the other ones we're just going to tell them, give up trying to build these for the moment. Build these for the moment. Essential supplies have not been delivered to our army. Is that clothing delivery issues? Okay. In theory, there's enough clothing in the town, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. We're going to dismantle noble houses. Because from a blueprint standpoint, those are just easy enough to replace. We're going to dismember one of the courts. Having one is better than having none. Knowledge Prowler was never really good in the start place. Disassemble that one. You haven't quite sieged the garrison out yet. So you're waiting for the 20k, you're waiting for the 20k. We don't have anything to sell to the slaver, we don't have anything to buy from the slaver. Okay, if you had more money, you could try to go bigger. And that probably would allow you to go up to the next tier. Now, if you don't have that money... Oh, and if I keep enough happiness buildings, you don't have... Oh no, you still have enough. Although, debate whether or not it's worth doing that. You'd probably be a better place for the Workers' Guild, because you can get bigger. So right now I've got a level 1 Workers' Guild here, so let's downgrade you. That 3's up workers. Put it over here, where we can actually go probably up to 2. If I have the 20k. Maybe shouldn't have done that, done the disassembly without double checking to make sure to place it right away. I don't think the worker malice unless the regions mattered. Yeah. Really matter. Okay. So at some point I want to do first tier of that and second tier of that. Which is actually going to be most of those workers. We might not actually be able to run any husbandry here. We'll see. more save up, and I do go for the next size up and go one more size up, although... Oh, I've got that unlocked. Yeah, we should do that. Probably keep you there, because with the number of unemployed workers there, the taxes here is going to be good. Gonna keep the region positive. So 4.5k. Siege is almost done. We're short on furniture. I'm gonna go ahead and agree that this stage is not being repaired quickly enough, and we're just gonna do a dismantle and actually replace it with a new stage. Lower level stage as a side effect. Which of course means we can go with fewer wood, less wood, and less furniture. Welcome gift to our Amevia neighbor and offers a small gift of our goodwill. So I can accept it, or I can decline it, which would actually piss them off. We'll accept it. Yeah, that's something else I could do. If I go to my neighbors, would you be willing to sell me? Demand. Like 100 cut stone and 100 furniture. Exchange, trying to manually trade you some of our other resources. Okay. Okay, so we replace that stage. We're going to cut stone and furniture to fix it, which is why we effectively downgraded it, because we don't have those resources right now in the desired quantities. Do the same over here with this broken stage. Assign a dismantle, and just build a level 1 to replace it. Prioritizing just easy stuff to sort of replace later, getting those cancelled so we can get the bits out of it to get the other repairs complete. How's the health looking? Health's pretty good. So I can probably delay repairing that physician. Can I suspend that job? like you not to put the stuff back. That was the whole point of trying to suspend the job. There we go. Yeah, if we get enough cut stone and some of this stuff can get fixed, we're getting pretty close to getting a bit more of it online. And if we get more of it online, we can get more people in, hopefully, to get stuff operational again. And we're not wood positive, which is a little bit of an issue. Because the main consumption of wood is carpenters to make the furniture to keep the town going. Keep the town repairing. How's the siege? Siege is done. Okay. Obviously at least one, level 1, and then, what's the resting point with level 1? We're getting 79, that's actually pretty good. Put more growth in. Can't quite get to 600, although we are getting a, what is that, a 10% carrying capacity debuff from Devastation? 7%. It doesn't quite math. Oh, but I could also level up the U, which then means we can go another one on U if we had the mic. Let's do that, and we'll hit accept for the moment. That delays it shrinking. Do I have enough to go up another tier on that? Sure, for the moment. And we'll see if we can get the growth. If we can get enough growth in, keep it at that, and keep it at 600. Well, actually, at the moment I just need to keep it at 300, which this will do. I think. Although we'd like it to go up to 600 if we could, which would be that. Here we go, target's over 600. Should stay over 600, I think. Yeah. Let's grab that. So we got 16 workforce. Probably do a stand tavern. How good was the hydration here? Below 0.5, so that's not a good place for Workers Union. Worker Guild. This was actually a good place for the Workers Guild, although we can't afford the Workers Guild because that costs 20k. Probably some sort of pasture. Either Globadine or Archon. So either eggs, which our main people would like, or meat and leather for leather for the labs, right? And then actually we probably have enough, like 2 levels at a bank or something. Think about it. Well, that's something I haven't addressed. What is the retirement population? So, estimated retirees is 1.19. If all the retiree homes was operational, in theory, we only need to provide 900. So we actually have too many retirees for that. Okay, that's probably fine, given the fact that we need to repair some retirement homes. Did the temple come back online? Temple came back online, yes. So that means religion approval will go back up, that's good to see. Services are, in some places, improving. That's good to see. Get population growing again. We can do more things to improve. And yeah, I think the things we want to do here cost 20k. Although there's an argument that I don't need the army there anymore, so it's time to move the army out. Next target. Okay, once again, another battle. Okay, enemy is to our south. Oops, wrong way. Putting my smallest units on the flanks and the biggest ones in the middle. Start. Just slow. And we'll let them come to us. Let the horde of peasants come to us. To, frankly, fight our horde of peasants, but Horde v Horde. This is surprisingly fair fight. We only outnumber them by 127. Attempting to roll up there right with my left. Okay, there goes their left falling apart. Well, there goes their right falling apart, sorry. Let's see if we can circle their middle. Finally in on this unit. Got his flanks compromised. Gonna get a little bit more to break. Okay, their left actually is now collapsed. So we can bring our right to close up the last bit of the enemy center. Oh, well, the enemy center at this point pretty much collapsed as is. There we go. 26 casualties to get 503 of them to surrender. Release the prisoners. And then we send our army to go occupy the town. And then, once again, yeah. It's to level 1 town, so we get the minimum size from that. That brings us actually up to target 400. This place is reasonably well endowed with moisture. It would take us up to 600. Need to save a little bit more before we can put the next size town down. Could potentially just save the 15k and go up that little bit more size. Tempting. Oh, well, it's not tempting, it's just figuring out where to get the money from, right? We got a lot of it constantly being reinvested into the city to try to maintain city repairs. Am I actually getting migration again? Yeah, in theory I am getting migration again, so the city is beginning to recover. Although we've effectively got burnt out buildings in various portions of the city. Hatcheries have been yet to be re-established. Oh, I need more government points. That's actually easy to do. Come in here, find our governor, noble, promote him. More government points. 40 more government points. I think that's as... Well, actually, we'll get more workforce out of the city because I can go up one more tier on the village, but that's as big as the city's realistically going to get. We're having a distance modifier on happiness, so I need to get a road, which I suppose we can do. Put one in here. There we go, that stabilizes the happiness of the city a little bit more. And give enough time, that means the support will go up, I think. Yeah. Honestly, you probably actually want a well at this point. So yeah, we'll give you a well. That puts the cap over 1.2, so that's big enough for the next size major city. And it's helped fix the city's health problem. Although saving up for the next size city may be a bit of an issue. Again, that's also saying time to promote the governor noble once more for even more government points. Okay, so the devastation's cleared. What happened there that made your target so low? You had something turn off. Ah, the knowledge finally made me lose access to that town level. Ah. Okay, so you're stuck at max to that level for the moment. 600 is the most you can be at. 600 is the most you can be at. Or, no, the 300 one's the max you can be at, because I lost all the way. Ugh. Okay. Which means we're overemployed, although if you don't need to be that big... Okay, so you were fine because you weren't using it. You were fine because you weren't using it. You were fine, or you're not fine, so you need to go down a level. Makes the problem less bad. No, we actually need to go down 2. And then, obviously, you can sacrifice growth. Okay, that works for you. Annoying setback, but it is what it is. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Most of my places weren't using the improved size, except for you. You're not fine. You gotta go down one size. That means you don't have the workforce. Honestly, we should probably give up on the guild and down level you. No, actually, yeah, you don't need to stay over. If there's no point in serving over 600. There's no point in staying over 600. And yeah, that's equal workforce. So that's what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna drop the taxes. I can't even drop the taxes low enough. You gotta shrink down to that size. And there's no point in keeping most of this agriculture. Wind clearance for the moment. Okay. And then obviously if we go into tech, we're gonna see... Oh, it didn't take it away, but it took it away. Okay. I'm just gonna give up these then if we've already accepted that we don't have them. And at this point I'm not running skilled workforce either. That's arguably because too many of the labs have been burnt down for too long. Yeah, I'm probably due. Well, I'm overdue for a part break. We're gonna try to keep repairing the town for like another hour, and then I think the next stream we'll be starting up a new city. So if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow as we continue to attempt to repair the city. We haven't had the worst case scenario, which is what I was worried about. What happening is that the destroyed city, the city would cause us to sort of do a revolt cycle, where the citizens are unhappy, so they revolt, so they break things, so we have more unhappy citizens because more things are broken. We've avoided like the worst of situations, but we're kind of in this catch-22 of, yeah, we've avoided the worst of situations, but we're not maintaining the knowledge to keep things going. We're not repairing fast enough because we're so behind the 8 ball when it comes to the furniture and the cut stone. So there's a couple industries who are just giving up on trying to rebuild in the short term. And even the ones we haven't necessarily given up on trying to rebuild, they're built, but without other bits attached to them, they're not working, right? So we're not really getting any native growth because the hatcheries are offline, haven't been repaired. We've got one court system going, so we've actually got some court going. I've got executions going. I should turn executions up. But yeah, we're going to continue trying to get the city going, but I think at this point it's probably more interesting to start a new city. Because without the knowledge, and we're 4K, or 400 knowledge in tech, effectively. Without the knowledge, yeah, there's all this... In fact, there's more free land for us to take over. But we can't effectively govern any of it because we don't have the knowledge to do that. So we're just kind of hoping that we get enough in that the taxes sort of cause us to bounce back. And I don't think that's really how you're meant to play the game. So yeah, we're gonna continue playing for like another hour in the next part. If the situation hasn't really improved in the town, where we're not really growing, like if it's just sort of like the crippled capital ruling over an empire bigger than itself, we'll probably call it for the run and start up a new one. Unless something changes, I do have on a couple of the earlier videos in the series, we do have a couple polls up or quizzes up for what to play next. At the moment, there hasn't been any responses to them. But if no one votes, the plan is to do Dundorians next as the main center of the city. We're a couple titles in here that we might still try to pick up. Although I'm really not going to try for the clumsy. Caretakers get the health up, which would require us basically rebuilding the city. Bureaucrat Bureaucrat might, if we keep conquering, happen eventually. That would be one reason to maybe continue the city, so we can pick up Bureaucrat. Although it's government points. How important that is, I'm not sure. Entertainer at this point I don't think is achievable. We've lost too many stages. I think one of the fight pits is out. Oh, actually, the fight pits are back in. Okay, the fight pits have been restored. So that's an example of, yeah, the city is slowly coming back online because the fight pits are online. If we get the stages going again, then we might be able to complete that. Of course, getting the stages properly back online is upgrading them, which is furniture and cutstone. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. We're going to take a short break here so I can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea. But then we'll be back to recording for about another hour, and then we'll see where we are. The situation hasn't significantly improved. We'll probably pull the run here, and we'll swap over to next stream of Songs of Six. We'll swap over to the Dorians. So until next time, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck, have a good time, catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.